We are live. This is the Reseller Wake Up episode 179. What's going on, everybody? It's Monday. How's your weekend been, Jake?
Weekend was pretty good. Not many. Well, actually, I got a lot of sales, but not a lot of money. I was clearing out a ton of inventory, and I really didn't care, so I just blew it out dirt cheap. And so now I got a bunch of stuff to ship out today.
How did you go about doing this? What was your strategy?
No real strategy, man. Like I said, I really didn't care. So I put it on a 99-cent auction plus shipping and just let them all fly.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. If you just did fixed price, ran a 70% off sale, or if you changed them all to auctions, or if you started them all at a certain price, or you tried to get certain prices for everything.
I was going to do a 70% off sale on all of them, but a lot of them hadn't ended yet, and I didn't want to have the same listing up. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be a new listing, so at least it would get some eyes on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said it was a lot less time consuming just to go ahead and send them all to auction.
Yeah, how much of the stuff actually went for 99 cents?
About 60-70% of it went for 99 cents plus shipping.
Did everything sell, or were there how many things did you have? How many things did you try to blow out versus how many actually sold? What did you sell through on the?
I think I had 60 auctions. Only about 30% sold. And of the 30% that sold, about probably 50-60% sold at the 99 cents.
And did you have any bid wars on anything that kind of brought everything?
The lamb's wool blazer. It was a Banana Republic. I'd had it listed for literally a year, and I couldn't sell it to save my life, no matter what pictures I took, no matter anything. I changed the pictures on it. I changed the listing. Prices, sales, raise the price, lower the price. Nobody wanted it. But I think I ended up getting 25 for that one. Which, like I said, I didn't care how much money I got for the stuff. I just wanted to get something and get it going.
Right.
Because I figure, if it all sets for another year, that's all that much more. It's taking up my free listings and making me pay more in fees anyway. So
there's that, and more importantly to me, I don't even look at the fees anymore. I could care less how much it costs to sell stuff. I don't care. I mean, I have an idea in my head, so I know.
Right.
I mean, if I'm selling something if I wanted to sell these 2 games, I would probably put them up for $20. They cost me 5 cents to list if I didn't have any free listings. I would care. Or if I have that Banana Republic blazer you're talking about, if I was going to relist that over and over, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for me to relist it for 20 cents, even if I had to, because eventually when it does sell, it's going to sell for, like you said, $25-$30. And me, I probably would have paid $1 or $2 for it at the most. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think I only gave 50 cents for it at a yard sale.
Yeah, there you go.
So I really didn't care. I mean, I didn't have a lot in it. It was a non-issue. It's just I wanted it gone. I wanted to free up space. You know what I mean? I'm getting to a point where I need to get rid of a bunch of dead inventory and free up space for better selling stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody gets to that point at some point. Eventually,
yeah.
Especially when you start to learn what you actually like to sell, when you learn what does sell, the kind of stuff that actually moves versus the kind of stuff that you just think, oh, this thing's got to sell. Look how cool it is, And I mean, there are people that never really learn, and there are people that maybe for different various reasons, just their niche or whatever. Maybe they just don't care. They've got unlimited space. I mean,
right.
Look at the scavenger life guys. Those guys probably have more stuff that's fallen off over the years that they don't even realize that isn't even listed on eBay anymore.
Yeah, I had some of that too. Like
Yeah.
I found when I was going through all my inventory, I think I found like 15 shirts or something like that that weren't even listed anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, no wonder it isn't selling.
It's so annoying when when I'm looking through inventory doing I mean, you should do it pretty regularly depending on how many items you have listed. But I feel like the more items you have listed, the more important it is to keep track of your inventory and have some kind of system outside of eBay to handle all that. Otherwise, you're just going to have stuff sitting around that's not even listed anymore. Just ghost delist. I just got a thing. It was a class action lawsuit email because it was for anybody that sold an item between like 2009 and 2015 or something like that. Let me find the email because it was pretty relevant and interesting, and I want to talk a little bit about it today. But I mean, this just kind of like goes back to what we've said. It's not a conspiracy. This happens. I mean, apparently, when people hit buy it now and don't pay, that's what it sounded like anyway. Ooh. Oh my. I just got a really interesting email from my repricer. Looks like I'm going to be posting up a link for you guys here in a couple days.
Affiliate?
Yep. The affiliate
Nice.
program is active. Yeah. All right. So looks like I'm going to be reopening that. I've got to find it. I was looking at it last night, and it just caught my eye because it was anytime I see class action lawsuit, I think I need to at least look at this. Okay, Risotto versus eBay class action. All eBay sellers in the United States who paid listing fees to place a buy it now listing on eBay's websites during the period from July 30th, 2008 to September 10th, 2015, whose item was subsequently delisted when the buy it now button was selected by a prospective buyer prior to the end of the scheduled listings duration. We were not ultimately paid by the prospective buyer for the listed item and whose listing fees were not refunded by eBay. So apparently there's actually a ruling on September 10th, 2015, the Honorable Edward J. Davila of the U.S. District Court, Northern District of California, granted preliminary approval of this class action settlement and ordered the litigants to provide this notice about the settlement. You receive this notice because eBay's records indicate that you may be a class member and may be eligible to receive a payment from the settlement. And then they give me the link to it and all that stuff. So basically they sent me a summary of all the litigation and exactly what it all means. And I mean, basically what it sounds like is there's a bug in eBay where a customer can hit buy it now and not pay for the item, but the item delists as well. So that's what we're talking about here. And obviously it happens a lot. It's not like something that, especially if you've got hundreds of items listed, I mean, it could happen a lot more than just every once in a while. And if eBay doesn't even notify you that the item's delisted, that's even worse for you because you missed how many potential sales have you missed out on because they didn't even tell you that there was this bug that maybe they knew about it, maybe they didn't. But either way, I mean, they're like have a certain responsibility to maintain a level of,
professionalism.
Well, like service, because this is what you agree to do. And if they're not up their end, then who knows? I mean, I feel like I don't know if I want to respond to this thing because if it turns out to be something like, all right, well, tell us what got delisted during those years and blah, 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 that's the record, and we'll give you your 20 cents back per item. It's like, really? That's completely.
And here's your $20 payout.
Yeah, completely misses the point of all of this. I mean, it's not the 20 cents that I thought this thing was for sale, and then 3 months later, I realized, oh, wow, it's been delisted for I don't even know how long.
Right.
Because I just thought that it was being relisted or good till canceled, I mean, it's a little frustrating when you find out about that kind of stuff. But
oh, for sure. I was tripping out when I found those shirts and stuff that hadn't even been listed, and I couldn't tell you how long. I'm like, who is going through and unlisting these products? Like,
I know, right? How is this happening?
I'm like, Monica.
Does eBay just magically forget that you have it listed or something? But
I think some of it also would have to do with, like, if you do a lot of sell similar and like maybe there's a glitch when you're doing it and you got to start over for whatever reason. You know, if you ever get an error message and you got to start all over, maybe one or two don't get checked or something like that.
yeah.
I don't know. It could be user error. It could be eBay, you know, screwed up, but I don't know. Either way, best thing you could do is go through your inventory, make sure everything you have is listed, or make sure it's separated, you know, so you got a spot at least for the unlisted stuff and a spot for the listed stuff, so you know the difference.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the most obvious thing. I mean, I don't know anybody who mixes up their listed inventory with their unlisted stuff. That would be crazy to me. Oh my God, how would you even have like an inkling of what you've got for sale versus what's just in the
right? Well, I mean, like I have my stuff separated, but you know, every once in a while, it seems like something that is unlisted ends up in the listed stuff, and something that is listed, like maybe somebody asks a question about it and I bring it over to the desk and I'm looking at it and I'm, you know, emailing the guy back, you know, maybe it doesn't make it back over to the listed section.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's always good to double check regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, like I very rarely go through my inventory and double check it until I get to a certain level. Like, you know, if I've been floating around 100 to 200 items listed, and like my sell-through rating's been around 30% on eBay. And honestly, I've been paying my bills with Amazon for the last like 6 months. You know, eBay has been like gravy, you know, extra money. Or if, you know, the sales have been kind of crappy on Amazon and I don't really have enough, I need to pay for something and I got a bill coming up and I need to make some money real quick, then eBay's really good for that. You know, I mean, you can just, you know, if you know what's going to sell, you just throw stuff out there, you know, do like what you said with your 99-cent auctions. You know, I've done that before where it's like, all right, I got to have like $500 by next week. And this Amazon shipment might not even make it in by then and be checked in by the time I need the cash, or the payout's going to be 2 weeks from now. You know, like I get my payout and I come up short on my budget, so I need to get out there and make some more money. Then yeah, eBay's been basically what I've been using that for, just filling in the little gaps here and there. Or if, you know, if I plan on going to do something, you know, I'll just plan to pay for it with eBay. You know, I mean,
and most of your Amazon stuff is all thrifted, right?
Yeah, I did retail arbitrage this weekend though. I went to
right on
the store, TradeSmart. I bought like probably 24 of these action figures that were on clearance for $7 a piece, and they were selling for anywhere from $20 to $35 each. And the first time that I sent action figures in, like those movie type collectible action figures, I just tried it just with a couple because I'm like, there's no way this thing's selling for $40. And the ranking was like 400,000, but there were like 3 people on the listing. I'm like, maybe let's try it. So I sent it in and they all sold within a week. It's like, okay. Yeah. So I'm on the lookout for that kind of stuff now for sure, if I can find them really cheap. But I mean, that's my type of retail. I walk into the clearance section, look for something that I know is just they're basically giving it away, and then scan it to check and see if I think I can make money on it. But yeah, and
I always check the WWE stuff too.
Oh yeah, WWE stuff is pretty well.
Yeah, it usually does. I mean, some of it the margins aren't enough, but if you can find it on clearance, yeah.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of WWE stuff a few months back at Ross, I think. I don't remember where it was, but it was like the little ones, like packs, and
the little Rumble Rumble pack or something.
Yeah, but they all sold really well. They sold fast.
Yeah.
Every time I see a box of them at a garage sale, I almost want to ask how much, but I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you can have them all for like $5 or $10," and then they're gonna go into they're going to stay in that box and they're going to go in a corner and I'm going to look at them for 6 months before I finally get around to actually looking them up and selling them. So I pass, you know, I'm talking like the kids' toys, you know, the ones that have been used and abused. But then you see the listings, and for some of those things, man, I mean, if you can get like 30 or 40 WWE guys for $5, they're going to sell for like $100 most likely on eBay. You know, maybe not that much,
Right.
maybe more. You don't know what you got. But
I'm always scared. Like, I've always been impressed with the fact that most of your stuff is thrifted for Amazon, because I'm terrified, like, to pick stuff up from yard sales and send it into Amazon.
I'm pretty fearless. I don't sell it new.
Like, you don't sell it new?
Very rarely, unless I know for a fact it's new. I mean, if you've got a sealed puzzle, the person there's no like collector's market for puzzles, really. All right. Somebody gets the puzzle, they want to get that thing, they want to open it up, and they want to put it together.
Right.
So if you find a sealed puzzle and maybe it's a little faded on the sun, or maybe the corners are a little beat up, I've never had a problem with a customer not. I mean, even if you buy them brand new from the store, people drop them on the floor and crunch up a corner. It's still new, but I mean, if it's
but you can't list it as new.
Oh yeah, you can. I do it. If it's sealed, it depends on what it is. Like I said, I mean, like it depends on what it is. You know, I mean, if it's a Nintendo game or something that I find with the cello wrapping on it and it's kind of beat up like the box, if I find something like that at a garage sale, I'm not going to sell that new. But I'm also probably not going to sell that on Amazon. I'm putting that on eBay, and it's going to get like really special treatment most of the time, and I'm going to get twice what anybody's getting for it on Amazon. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, when it's, say, like, I don't know, I'm trying to use a good example. You know, like a box of crackers or something, you know? No, I'm probably not going to use that example, because if it had a crushed corner, I wouldn't buy it at all. But I don't know. I just try and use my own judgment and common sense, I guess, when I'm deciding if I want to send something as new or like new. And when I'm talking about like a crushed corner, I don't mean like a corner where, let's see, I don't even know if I've got a box laying around that I could show you guys an example of. You know, like if it's just a little shelfware around the edges, that's just shelfware.
Right.
With books, you know, I mean, like, I don't think I've ever bought a book used and sold it as new, but I know a lot of guys that do it, and I know why they do it. It makes perfect sense. I mean, if you've got a book that looks like it just came off of the shelf and it's used, or you bought it used but it looks brand new, who's gonna know? You know?
Right.
That's their philosophy. I don't know. And when you're talking about a penny book versus a $30 book, depending on the condition, I don't know. But
yeah, I'm always afraid, like, well, with the Snuggies I bought, I'm having to sell those as like new or very good condition because the boxes are jacked up. Inside, the item is sealed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't sell it as new because the boxes like have maybe there's a scratch in the box, maybe the little, I don't know, what do you call them, circle stickers that seal the edges?
Yeah.
Like maybe those are peeled up or something.
You know, you can buy
stuff like that.
Okay, so
yeah,
I've actually bought like board games and stuff at thrift stores, and you open them up and everything is brand new and sealed inside. You know, like all the little components are sealed in the individual, like factory. It looks like it hasn't been touched, but somebody opened the wrapper. And then, I mean, I've seen videos of people that, like, I sell them like new like that. I've never found one that it would have made a big difference where, you know, you get on some listings and the difference between new and used is insane. You know, there's 200 sellers, 170 of them are selling them as used, and the 30 of them that are selling them as new are selling them for 3 times what the used sellers are selling them for. In that case, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a board game that could be collectible. I've never done it, and I probably would never do it, where you reheat shrink the box yourself and sell it as new, even in that condition when everything inside is new. But I know I've heard like higher end people, you know, like some of the bigger name coaches and YouTubers out there make that suggestion, like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then they do it and they show you, it's like, here it is. I just heat shrink this myself and it looks brand new, you know?
Right.
So I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it just seems like a slippery slope, and Amazon don't play. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, that's the slippery slope thing, is where you gotta kind of don't let yourself fall into that trap where it's like, you know, I got away with this, so maybe I can get away with it next time and a little more next time. Don't get greedy. But I mean, sometimes common sense prevails. I mean, I don't know. Like I've sent in stuff like these little flea and tick remover things where the box is a little jacked up, but inside everything's in there and it's sealed. Every single person who would ever buy those is just going to rip them open and use them. They're not gifts. They're not something somebody's going to give to somebody as a Christmas present, most likely. It's not something that somebody's going to collect. They're not going to put it, they're not going to get it and be like, oh my, the corner of the box is damaged. And then open it up and be like, but everything's brand new inside. So I'm still going to be, they're not going to complain about that. You know what I mean?
Right. But, they shouldn't anyway.
Right. Well, I've never had it, but then on the other hand, I've had people freaking tell me, like I sold a set of headphones. The guy had sent me a message and he didn't even send me the order number. He just sent me directly as a seller this long message about what's your return policy. I bought these 2 months ago. They smelled like smoke. The mic doesn't work. I'm like, why didn't you tell me this a long time ago? You know, but like I can't remember a set of headsets that I've sent in the last year that weren't brand new in the box, like clearance items from like Kmart or something. So it's like we got Jason in the house. Advantage Games. That's one of my buddies. You guys remember a few months ago I had those 5 dudes on that were opening up a game store? Yeah, that's him. He's looking
right on.
Hasn't given me an update yet though. He's supposed to be looking for a guy to help me out with my biz, get a little employee action going. Best thing about like card game nerds and guys that play that kind of stuff, they're usually really reliable and they work cheap and they're smart. Really good source of employees, I hope. We'll see how that works.
That's a good combination.
That's exactly what you're looking for, right? And so we had some questions in the chat. My detail page, Joy Carr asked, my detail page, sales and traffic by Ace and Amazon has shown several items for 4 days as sold, one-off so are unavailable, but no payment has come through, nor item shipped as customer, not money. Not sure what she's talking about, but I'll be honest with you guys. Like I use that the detailed seller thing. Hold on, I think I know. Like when you're looking up in the corner, the orders box.
Yeah.
Fulfillment by Amazon in the last day versus in the last 7 days.
Yep.
I look at that very loosely. That is not something that I put a lot of stock in. It's usually not accurate at all. Honestly, my repricer does a better job of inventory management and letting me know when something sells. And I'm not even using the repricer anymore. Like I didn't pay for it. I shut it off. But the inventory management is still there. It still tells me when I sell stuff, when product is listed, when it's added. So, I mean, I haven't been paying them anything, and all that stuff's still there, and it's still more accurate than Amazon Seller Central. But, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm liking it. I'm going to go ahead and pay for that today, get it all set up, and then when I get my affiliate link, then I'll tell you guys all about it. Don't worry. Make a big post in the group. Let's see. Some of the other stuff going on in there. But yeah, I mean, it takes forever for it to update. I've had stuff that literally immediately it tells you like it's sold and we shipped it out, and then you'll get an email for something, and then a week later it shows up in that little box. It's like, that makes no sense, but it is what it is. Let's see. So Pollyanna Wilson says the glitch is sold items remaining in active listings frustrates me because it's going against my monthly count. eBay said working on it, but it's still happening. Used to love good till canceled. I don't know what she's talking about there. I don't actually do. It's going against my. I've never had a sold item show up in my active listings or remain in my. Have you had that, Jake? I don't know what she's talking about.
Sold items show up in my active listings?
Yeah, like
no.
Sold and it still shows up in your active listings. I don't know what she means by that.
Well, if I'm trying to think, because it seems like I have had that happen where I've resold something I've previously sold, and it happened because of maybe a duplicate listing or like I did a sell similar.
Yes, if you
and change the title.
If you do that, or if you have a multiple quantity listing, say like you've got a multiple quantity listing of 5 of an item and you sell 3 of them, and then you decide to, instead of relist it, you sell similar. It'll revert the quantity back to the original quantity that you had when you originally made the listing. It won't revert it back to the updated quantity, however many are there now. I had this happen over the weekend. I had something sell that I did this a long time ago. Like when I listed it, there were like 3 of them or whatever, 2 or 3 of them. None of them sold, so I sold similar. And then one of them sold, but there were still no, it was like one person clicked on it and bought one of them. So at the end of the month, I had 1 or 2 views and no watches, no nothing. So I sold similar again, and it re-upped the quantity. And I just finally, the last one sold over the weekend, and I'm like looking for it for an hour in my freaking storage unit, not there anywhere. And then I went back and looked at my solds, and it was, it screwed me up pretty bad. But
I can't stand the way it doesn't update the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
That gets to me bad.
Well, that's the only time I really care. Usually I catch it. I don't know why I didn't catch it that time. I mean, it's happened to me enough times that I know better. But now it's like, all right, how do I rectify this? How do I like get a hold of this dude and be like, I'll do whatever you want. Tell me what you want. I'll do it for you. I can give you a refund. I can give you like 2 of a different color. I can check my store. If there's anything you like, I'll give it to you for half off or something, you know? And I hate to do that because it almost feels like a bait and switch. But if you give them enough, then it's worth it to them, in my experience. And I mean, this particular,
I typically underlist quantity. Meaning, if I have 10, I'll say I have 8.
Yeah, I do that too. But in this case, I only had a couple of each of them. So I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to relist it every time that I sell one and make sure that it's still there. And I mean, I had an accurate count at the time, but these items though, I've got less than $1 into them. I'm selling them for $25 to $30 each. So sending them some free ones or something. And these are things that usually retail for like $80. So, I mean, it's a pretty good deal on their part. I just have to, usually I can do something about that, but actually, I need to get down to Jason's shop. I went to this party this weekend where we were doing a bunch of kids games, or not kids games. It was like a board game party, you know, like everybody showed up with a board game and we played. And I wanted to find Cards Against Humanity. Nobody has it in stock. So I'm like, Jason, he'll have it. I know he will. Called him. He didn't even have it. So at that point, I just gave up all hope and stopped looking. But I was one of those, I wish I would have thought ahead like a week so I could have just ordered it on Prime and gotten it there. But yeah, we were like looking around on Friday for, actually it was like Saturday afternoon. We were still looking for stuff to do. But that was a pretty good time. So yeah, if you're doing multiple quantities on eBay, make sure that you pay close attention because you never know. Okay, so Pollyanna Wilson, she says it's weird because there's no option for buyer to buy, and when clicked on, it says this item sold. So basically what she's saying is she's got items in her active listings that when somebody tries to buy them, it's active, it's up, it's there. But when somebody tries to buy it, it says this item is sold. I've never seen that. I would like to see an example. That would be okay. So did you go to the Reseller Wake Up group this morning and look at all, Jake? Okay, so there's this one post. Stephanie Garcia posted an Amazon listing. Not sure if my listing looks okay. Some of you all check it out and give me some input. Thank you. So I'm going to actually post this in the chat so that everybody can go and look at this listing. Well,
okay, I'm there.
I don't know if I want to do that because then she'll get a bunch of hits on the listing and if nobody buys it, then it could like make the traffic. But she posted it in the group. So that's like she wants us to do that, to go look at it. It's like a baby thing. First of all, first thing I noticed on this, here, I'll just show it to you for now. I mean, my first impression is it's a frozen item, and frozen is gated.
Right, and that.
So if you,
which I don't understand how that works because it seems like some frozen items are gated and some are not.
This is exactly why some frozen items are gated and some are not. It's not the same as a typical gated category. There's no frozen. I don't think there's a frozen category, and if there is, people just post stuff outside of the frozen category, and then eventually Amazon realizes, oh, that's a frozen item, and then they gate it and they cut everybody off who isn't gated for frozen, and then they threaten to ban their accounts if they keep doing that, if they don't delete the listing immediately from their inventory. So the only way to get I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to get ungated and frozen. I mean, just go to a retail store and buy a bunch of frozen stuff and do it just like you would do health and beauty or grocery or whatever. I don't know if it's as easy as it was 6 months or a year ago to get ungated in all those categories, but it was very easy when I did it. And then Adam, Biohazard Picker, if you go to biohazardpicker.com, that's his website, he's got an ungating service. So when he started the ungating service, he got me ungated in shoes, clothing, hats, watches, jewelry, all within a day. I mean, it literally took like a few hours, and it took 5 minutes of my time. He basically just sent me all the files, told me what to do, told me what to say. I sent it in, and all of them got approved immediately, just like that.
Yeah, so he did the same thing for me.
Yeah.
He got me ungated and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can find ways to you can go out and figure out how to get ungated for stuff on Amazon yourself if you want to. And some of them are easy enough that it's worth it just to do it yourself. But some of them are complicated enough and enough of a pain that it's worth it to pay somebody that really knows what they're doing to help you. Even if it's like $100. I mean, I made that back in a week. You know, I mean, that was back when I was still trying to do as much retail arbitrage as I could. You know, I mean, if I was finding stuff all the time that was good money, you know, like mostly it was more like accessories and stuff, you know, belts and like some jewelry, like name brand, especially like branded jewelry, you know, like Katy Perry type shit. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Yeah. But like real cheap always goes on clearance at like Marshall's or whatever. Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, cool.
Okay, so on this listing though.
All right, I don't know what to think here. Dusty is like. You look like everybody else in the house is probably still asleep, and you're trying to ninja around and not wake anybody up.
So, I went to bed at like 5 a.m.
How was the vacay? The 16th vacation in 3 months.
It's all right. It was an outing. It wasn't really like we just got out. We just went to Birmingham, which is like 100 miles. And my kids went to the Bama game, which we elected not to go. I don't really know why we didn't go to this game. Yeah, I'm so not awake. It was dual fold just to visit like my wife's dad, and then like my parents live like 5 blocks apart. They happen to live in the same neighborhood, and my parents needed their attic cleaned out, and so we worked on that. And then my kids went to the Bama game because my father-in-law was like had extra tickets and was like hounding for the kids to go. That's it.
Fun.
So it wasn't really a vacation, but I mean, it kind of was because I actually I didn't put my stuff on vacation hold. I just changed my handling time to 2-day, and I didn't do anything, as far as like work. So.
Right. Now, do me a favor, Dusty. Look at that link. It's an Amazon item that somebody did their own listing and posted it up in the Reseller Wakeup to see like what we thought of it. I'm gonna delete the thread in the.
Okay.
By the way, because
is that person here right now?
no, she's not in the chat. But it's okay. I'll just send her a message to say that we talked about it on the show today, and she can go back and get our critiques. I mean, first of all, first thing I noticed is don't ever post a listing that's brand new that you want to get traffic without like, hey, can you guys all check this for me? Maybe 1 or 2 people's fine, but there's a like click-through rating. If you have 100 people check an item, like click on your item and it doesn't sell, then that pushes your rank way down, right?
Yeah, it doesn't help. I was just sitting here. Hold on. I just put it in my trash. I was just sitting here checking my email from Amazon, and I got an email that said Amazon services. Blah, blah, blah. Dear seller, our research shows that you're currently selling products in 1 or more of these categories: shoes, watches, jewelry, and luggage. Probably includes clothing. To improve customer experience and the discoverability of your listings starting January 5th, 2016, new listings in these categories will require a primary image that is at least 1,000 pixels on the longest side. This resolution will enable the zoom feature on the website. New listings that do not conform to this requirement will be suppressed from search and browse on Amazon.com and will not be visible to buyers.
Oh, wow.
To ensure that new listings are searchable, we encourage you to upload primary images of at least 1,000 pixels before January 5th, 2016. To learn how, blah, 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 thank you for selling on Amazon services. So, yeah, first and foremost, that's not it's not a compliant picture. Secondly, I don't know what that is. I'm looking at the title and looking at the picture. I have no clue. I don't know if it's a tablecloth and a napkin, or a pair of shorts with lace around the hip. I mean, I really seriously don't. I'm looking at it. I don't. Your title didn't tell really what it is. Your bullet points, your pictures. Yeah, white background only, completely removed background, etc. Pictures going the right direction, full pictures.
Yeah, I mean, basically there's a lot wrong with the listing, unfortunately. I mean, like I said, my first impression was it was a frozen item, and frozen's still gated, right? Did they ungate that?
Oh, yeah. No, that too. And, and there's a lot of people that, well, let me list it, and it's frozen. Well, yeah, obviously in this case, you create a listing, so yeah, it's not going to catch. Yeah, you don't. Frozen is still gated after like 2 years. And yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's the huge.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that when Amazon finally does catch it, it might sit there for 3 months. Maybe you've got 2 of them up and they'll sell, and then 2 months later you forget about it, and then Amazon finds the listing because somebody else posts some stuff on it or something, and then they realize, oh, that's frozen, and then they'll gate that listing. They'll flag it as frozen, and then they'll realize that you sold something on that listing 2 months ago, and they're going to send you a nasty email that says, delete this from your inventory immediately, or we're banning you. And then if you miss that email or forget about it, or you don't realize what they're asking you to do because you sold out already, and you think, oh, well, I already sold those. No, you have to delete the item from your actual inventory because, like, in your seller inventory, all your inventory is still there, I mean, it'll be there forever until you delete it. So, yeah, I would say not.
I mean, whoever this is, you only have 8 of them in stock, is what it kind of appears by like trying to add it to the cart and playing around with the numbers. They're $15.99 after fees. You're talking about like, I don't know, $10 roughly, probably on that. It's not worth the $80, whatever. I would just, yeah, you had the biggest point. I don't know how I totally missed that, other than the fact I just woke up. Yeah, throw them on eBay. Just stick them over. I would stick them over on eBay.
Yeah, so would I. I would probably put them in one big lot. Leave this listing up, and make sure that your barcode and everything is on eBay. Because I mean, it's gonna cost you like 50 cents each or whatever to have them sent back to you. Put them all in one lot and make it searchable so that somebody could come along that's like, oh wow, I could sell those for this much, and then maybe they would know how to improve the listing and everything too. I don't know, but
yeah.
Then I mean, I sell a lot of stuff to people that I know are reselling stuff on Amazon. You know, I mean, I actually price my items accordingly to make them, like if it's something that I'm gated in, like if I wanted to sell a DVD box set that's selling for $120 on Amazon, I'll post it for like $45 on eBay, knowing that somebody's going to buy it really fast to resell it on Amazon. You know, and I mean, I've done that a lot. And so if you've got $5 a piece in these things or whatever, and you put 8 of them on eBay and you sell them the whole lot for like, you know, I don't know, 60, 70, $80, then somebody else can buy them, make a good listing, and then sell them for $15, $20 on Amazon. Maybe that would be worth it. I mean, it's not. We're not trying to dog anybody or tell anybody, oh, your listing sucks or any of that. But like, this is kind of what we talk about a lot when you see new people that don't know how to make an Amazon listing correctly try, and it ends up looking like an eBay listing.
I mean, that right there that belongs on eBay. That kind of listing belongs on eBay. You gave it a noble attempt because it is so not easy to try to list new items on Amazon. But yeah, there's multiple things wrong. Picture quality is not. It's very low megapixels. The whole Disney Frozen thing. The fact that I can't even tell what it is. I mean, I really don't know what a sleep set means. Oh, I see the armpit now. Okay, so like, yeah, it's a pair of shorts and it's a tank top. And I'm not being ugly. I really don't know what it is.
It's a set of pajamas is what it is. I mean, the only reason that I know
I kept thinking it was a pillow, and that was a pillowcase.
At first,
also only half away. So
yeah, at first I thought it was blankets or something, but then I looked at it closer and I realized it was a set of pajamas. And that's just because I've got a 5-year-old daughter and I shop around for this guy.
It's because you probably wear Frozen stuff.
I wear that. There's that.
I wear that.
Frozen is my favorite. What can I say? Do you want to build a snowman?
But yeah, it's I mean, I've got listings I've created on Amazon, and I'm even going back now and looking. I've got one I created about a year ago, and I'm going back and I'm looking at it yesterday, and I'm like, wow, my picture, that really sucks. Like, my picture's not, when you look at the overall grand scheme of things, and I'm thinking about redoing the picture and resubmitting it, you know, changing a few things about the listing, because I'm just not happy with it. Because I've grown, you know, even in a year or short time or whatever. I mean, I've grown, and people grow, and you learn new things and stuff like that. So,
right. I mean, my picture quality has gone up so many fold since like 3 months ago. And 3 months ago, my pictures were 10 times better than 3 months before that. And I mean, the pictures from when I first started were abysmal, you know. And I feel like I'm just now getting to the point where I could make a picture for a listing on Amazon and it would just look okay. It wouldn't even look that good, but at least it would meet their specs, and it would. I mean, I've actually got pictures. Like, I've done my own thumbnails on listings with really bad photos. Amazon takes my thumbnails and puts them in the listing as the main photos for the listing, and they don't even put me in the buy box. I've had that happen on multiple listings. It's annoying, but it happens.
OG Picker says, any Apple geeks here? I acquired a vintage setup that is unique, and I'm trying to evaluate it. Apple IIe with CPM, dual floppy drives, monitor, 1200 baud modem, and other stuff. I have no idea what it is. LOL. Graphics tablets and some crazy camera thing that makes 35mm film slides from the computer screen. Vintage Apple stuff can be kick butt. There are websites out there, OG, that will track the serial number, discover how early that particular 2E model was, how far back it goes. I mean, I sold a Mac that didn't even work right, didn't power up all the way. One of the original, Macs with the built-in screen like this, the freaking thing was that, and I got like $650 for it. Paid, I think it was in an old haul video about a year ago. And yeah, the other stuff you're probably going to end up parting out, like the modem you might not put with it, you might sell it separately. But if it's Apple, you'd want to keep all that stuff together. But I mean, potentially the 2E, that can probably, depending on if it's very, very early, when the serial number dates to, if it dates to like early 1978, 79. I mean, you could be looking at something that's worth $2,000. You could be looking at something that's worth $500. But still good, still awesome. I love vintage Apple stuff.
Yeah, I find it every once in a while, but I've never found anything that was really good. It seems like I've always been able to find the model number and looked up past sales and stuff that's listed, and I've never found anything really rare. But I mean, what I'm basically trying to say is make sure you know what you're getting. Just because it looks old and it's got an Apple thing on it, Apple logo, doesn't necessarily mean it's a good buy, even if you do get it cheap. Because some of that stuff, there's a ton of it out there still, and it's just not going to be worth much of anything. It'll cost you as much to ship it as it's worth. Even if it's something, looks like it's worth $50 or $60. If it's a giant monitor and it's going to cost you $100 to ship it anywhere, then maybe not worth it. But
it's got to be with Apple. Really, the key to it is like early model, early production. Like the original Macs. This is kind of a cool story. On the original Macs, they actually opened the case, and Steve Jobs and everybody else would sign the inside of the case. And if you take it apart, behind that monitor, take the case apart, on some of the little bit later ones, there's actually a facsimile. There's a fake engraved into the plastic. There's all the signatures of all the tech guys that worked on it. They engraved that into plastic on a little bit later models.
Okay.
So yeah, Apple, I've learned a lot about it because I've actually come across 2 Mac computers in the last couple of years. First one sold for I think $1,000, and this last one I got $500 or $600 for.
Jeez.
It's like, dude, and they're like, they are when you see them at a yard sale, it's just amazing how many people walk by this yellowed looking thing with this little bit, like, oh my god, what a paperweight, and I'm like seeing dollar signs.
Right.
This was the second day of an estate. So the last one was second day of an estate sale, or it was late on the first day. I'd have to go back and check my video. And it was in the basement, and it was buried. And I got it and the printer, the image writer printer, for like $20. The printer's actually still here on my shelf.
How much are you getting for that?
For a year. The last time I looked it up, it wasn't much. It was like $50.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't bothered to list it.
I stay away from printers. I mean, I buy them every once in a while. I bought one a couple weeks ago, actually it was a couple months ago now. And it had a bunch of extra ink and stuff, and all the parts were there, and it was like $150 printer retail. And I knew that it was still selling for like $60, $70, something like that on Amazon. So, and it was $5. And I was gonna sell all the extra ink separate and everything. And I haven't done anything. I still just look at it because I haven't even bothered to get around to testing it, just because printers are such a pain. I mean, they're.
Wow. And he said lots of software and books too, 5 1/4 floppies, hundreds of them. That's big bucks. I mean, I've even sold, and it wasn't even original Apple software. It was like, some of it was, but if you have the boxes, have the manuals, price goes up big time. Some people like the fact if it's like written programs that were saved on 5 1/4 floppies that were just programs they wrote on on their Mac or on their Apple. Yeah. Dana, you're going to have to do some work on that one. It just depends, but I'm almost thinking software separate, the computer maybe with the modem and was that an all-in-one monitor, or was that a separate monitor on that one? Was separate, because that's the one I grew up programming on. That's how old I am. Yeah, I'd almost do the rest of the computer itself together, software separately. You're going to do good. I mean, if you do it right, you can pull $1,000 out of, if you've got that much software and the computer's in really good shape and works and all that, you'll be able to pull $1,000 out of it easy, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
If you live closer, I'd offer to double your money and give you, like, what do you pay for it? 70. I'd give you 140.
Yeah,
But then I feel bad if I sold it all for $1,000. I'd be like, oh, he's my friend. That's kind of crappy.
well, especially after you explained to him and broke everything down and told him exactly how much everything's worth.
Stuff like that, man. That's the kind of stuff right there that I live for. I mean, Amazon's great, scanning barcodes. I stay up all night with somebody having like discussion like eBay versus. It was Brock the Orange Elephant. You know what I'm talking about? Brock Parks. Yeah. I'll check out the Orange Elephant 853 or something on YouTube. He's got some really good videos. Yeah, he was on Chris Grone's show last night on Walking Figure. And I jumped in the hangout kind of late, and he and I just got talking. Everybody left the hangout, and we were talking about, just life and reselling. And the next thing I know, it's like 5 a.m. and the sun's coming up. So I went to bed, and I've had 4 hours of sleep. But yeah, I was like, he and I were talking last night. I mean, it's more my opinion. I'm not going to speak for him, but crap like that, finding something for $70, you could potentially turn into like $1,000 at a yard sale. It's hard to do that on Amazon, scanning barcodes, whatever else. That's the kind of crap that keeps me reselling, because that right there just paid my rent for the month. If that was me, that's eBay straight on there. Pull the money out of PayPal when I'm done. $800 rent, boom, paid. I paid my rent for $70 investment.
Yeah, I'm better at doing that on Craigslist than I am on eBay. I mean, I've done multiple $1,000 sales on Craigslist, and that's where, I mean, for me, I feel like when it's big money stuff like that, I have a tendency to just try and get it sold face to face. And if I can sell it for $2,000 on eBay, or I can get $1,700 or $1,800 for it on Craigslist, I'm gonna go for Craigslist. Just because, I mean, after the fees and everything, it almost breaks even anyway. But more importantly, just the hassle is gone. The worst you have to worry about is somebody, messing with you or just flaking on you. But I mean, I do all my business in a storage unit that's gated. I have to let you in. I have to let you out. Video cameras everywhere. The owners live on the property. They can see the entire property from their apartment up top. I mean, it's like really, really secure, and it's a really safe place to do stuff like that. I mean, like yesterday, I had somebody send me a picture of a gun, like a M&P 9mm, like a little concealed carry handgun, and he's like, I want your PS4. Would you take this thing? And at first I'm thinking, do I really want to meet somebody to trade for a gun? But then I'm like, well, I mean, what's he going to do?
He's going to be up front that he's going to shoot me,
But he was like, yeah, I used to be a security guard, and it's never been fired, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, what the hell? Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, it's a $400 pistol.
About a year ago, I had a storage unit full of screen printing equipment, and like large format printers. And it was a friend of mine bought it all from a storage unit auction, and then he bought like 8 units that day, and he calls me. He's like, I think this unit's like right up your alley. Tell me how much you'll give me, and I'll just flip it to you. You got till the end of the week to get it out, but they've already agreed they'll re-rent it to you month to month, which is what I ended up doing. I rented it for about 2 months until I could sell it off piece by piece. But one of the guys that comes, man, he pulls up. He's like, he's kind of sketchy anyhow. He's in like this total hoopty car, and he's just, I let him in through the gate out front, and then he follows me back, walks down the aisle, and drives behind me and follows me to the storage unit and all that. And he's like, well, what if I bought this, whatever? And he's like, aren't you worried that I just somebody would come in here and take your stuff and just leave, screw you over? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, why not? And I was like, you don't have the gate code. How are you going to get out of here? I was like, plus, you've already had 2 cameras so far to get your tag number. Now they've got you on camera. You can't get out of here. Go ahead and try to run, because the North Huntsville precinct is like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
Right
next door to my storage unit. This is one of the more fun selling points that the guy told me when he was like, yeah, it's see that building next door? That's like one of the biggest indoor gun ranges on the Front Range, and those guys know us really well. And yeah, we've chased off a few people, but yeah, it's pretty funny listening to him tell this story. I suck at it, but so yard sale hunters in the chat. What's going on? We got Ronnie. Let's see. Who else? Somebody asked something about my picture quality. What basically made me step up my picture game? Like, nothing real. I mean, just constantly trying to get better. You know, I mean, learning more about learning about the features in the different programs that I use. Like, I used PhotoFuse for a while. There's a couple. There's another one. I can't remember what it's called, but I've got it here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's something. It's kind of like PhotoFuse, but it's quicker. Do you guys remember or know what I'm talking about?
What's that?
It's like PhotoFuse, only faster. It's like scissors something.
I used one that was like on the back end of like Pinterest or something. I could never get the hang of it. It was called like Photo Magic or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, I've figured out ways to use GIMP so that it looks almost like it's there. Like I can remove backgrounds pretty well with GIMP now, and I mean, one of the things that helped me step up my picture game was when I started doing thumbnails for the show. Because I wanted to learn how to make my own custom thumbnails and, you know, just change things up a little bit, learn how to use layers, and I mean, the more you learn about a program, the better, the easier the simple stuff is to do. And now, I mean, you just learn what a better picture looks like. And I still got a long way to go. I mean, I've got a lot that I need to learn. I'm constantly just trying to pick up more stuff, but I've got I was using Screencast-O-Matic for a couple of my tip videos, but they only give you 15 minutes free. And I thought it was 15 minutes per video. It's 15 minutes total. So I have to I've actually downloaded some other software that I'm messing around with and just trying to learn how to do screen shares with that, but it's a little bit more complex and there's a lot to it. So once I figure that out, I'll get back to doing tip videos for you guys again. I did not do a video on how to do the thumbnails, Jake. I just did during one of the shows. I showed really quick how I had like this really crappy picture, and then I turned it into, you know, a nice picture with a white background where you could really see everything.
Right on, right on. Hey, somebody.
I've actually got somebody asking me about thumbnails right now, so that's why I asked.
Yeah. No, I might do a video actually because I didn't even find a video on how to do it. I just was checking the websites. Like I was checking the Linux sites because GIMP is based on Linux. That's why it's all free, and that's what I use for all of my photo editing. Like all my thumbnails, all my eBay stuff, everything's done through GIMP, and it's almost as good as Photoshop. Photoshop can do a lot more, but I mean for the kind of stuff that we need it for as sellers, I mean, we're not trying to. I've seen some pretty amazing Photoshop videos of like wedding pictures that somebody turned into a total background and all this other stuff. If you don't need to do all that, then GIMP's fine. You know, all you're trying to do is adjust colors and improve the looks of cut out background spots and crop and stuff like that. If that's all you're doing, GIMP is all you need, and you can make really good looking pictures with it. Really, it comes down more. You don't even need good lighting. I mean, I've literally taken a piece of paper, stuck it on my keyboard, taken pictures with my camera phone of the items that I'm listing, and then just go through and do a couple of adjustments in GIMP, and now it looks like I took it with a DSLR. You know, I mean, and I didn't even have to get out of my chair.
Somebody.
What camera do I use? I don't even know where it's at right now, but
man, I'm high tech. I'm high tech. I got the Kodak Easy Share model, whatever the hell it number C15.
Yeah.
It's all about lighting though. Like my last one broke after like 10 years, and I went to a pawn shop and they were like $45. I was like $30 out the door. I mean, I got it for next to nothing about a year ago when the other one broke. This one does totally fine. It's all about lighting.
Yeah, lighting helps immensely. But if you can learn how to adjust the lighting in your in GIMP or Photoshop or whatever editor you're using, then really you don't even need to have great lighting. I mean, it helps. It makes it a lot easier and faster. But you can. I'll put out a video. Don't worry. You guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. And I mean, first of all, for eBay, your pictures don't have to be perfect. They just have to be better than 80%, 90% of everybody else's pictures. And a lot of times, like for me personally, if I'm scrolling through and a photo looks too professional, like it literally looks like a stock photo from a company, I'll just scroll past it. I'm not even going to look at it because A, it's usually not the actual item that's being sold. Like, well, it's the item, but you know, it's a brand new item. Somebody's just got a stock photo and they've got 100 of them for sale. It depends. If I need the item, if I need like an AC adapter or something, that's fine. If it's just something generic like that. But if it's something like a piece of jewelry or whatever that's got a stock photo, I'm probably not going to buy something that is mass produced.
For price, you're talking about eBay. For Amazon, like on the flip side, they do need to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, if you just step up your game a little bit, you can still make Amazon quality photos with GIMP without having great lighting and everything. As long it's more about the angles and just kind of. You guys will see. Don't worry, you'll see. I'll show you what I mean.
See, I opted to go the opposite direction and have great lighting for great photos because I'm too lazy to do the GIMP and take out the background and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like seriously, that's what I was talking to somebody about last night. And I was like, my photos, I don't have to use the flash anymore. My photos have come 1,000% from where they were because the lighting for me was what made the difference between my photos suck and my photos look decent, you know.
I mean, really, the most important thing is just having a white background or whatever color you're using. I mean, you can have a black background with certain items and stuff like that, but anyway, we will talk about it later. We don't have time right now. I really have to get going. We got to shut this down. I got stuff to do. As much as I love to sit here and
oh, look, there was one more question. Someone wanted to know if the mail was running today or if it was a postal holiday.
I don't know. Is the mail running today? I have no idea. I know that school, my kid has school. That's all I know.
Well, that's actually my question. I didn't want to look stupid because I figured it'd be my own question. So I'm pretending like it was somebody else's question. I really don't know. We got back in town yesterday, and I got all my mail ready and all that crap. Today's Columbus Day. I'm 90% positive they probably don't run. And
yeah, it's a postal holiday.
Is it?
Sucks, man.
Yeah.
All right, so no mail today. You don't have to have your mail out until tomorrow. I would still suggest you package and ship your items, get them ready to go as early as possible, just because it helps with Cassini. You know, they like it when eBay likes it when you ship stuff right away, even if it doesn't get scanned in right away. They just want you to have your labels printed. And I mean, it sounds silly, but it works. Like you will get a little bit more of a push through search if you stay on top of your shipping as fast as possible. But we got to get out of here. We're going to be back Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time-ish, as always. Yeah, if you want to go and check out the Reseller Wakeup, it's my Facebook group. It's an easy way to find the latest show if you don't go through YouTube. I post the latest episode at the top of the group there. I also post my haul videos in there and my how-to videos and all that kind of stuff. So we also have a lot of questions being asked. Always like to have people help out with answering questions. Don't be afraid to ask your own questions. Maybe we'll get to them on the show, whatever. And we're still running on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, all that stuff. I haven't been Periscoping much lately. Need to get back into it. It's just I don't usually think about it when I'm out and about, and I've been doing a lot less sourcing lately and a lot more just sitting around listing. So if you like the content, if you like the show today, please hit that like button. It lets us know that you enjoyed it and you found it useful. And if there's any other questions or anything, suggestions for a topic that you have, you can post in the description below the comment section after the show goes off air. I'll post a link to the Hangout if you want to come in and say hello to everybody. Let's see.
And Bitcoin.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now. The red subscribe button right there. You see it? That one.
Yeah, that one.
It'll let you know when I post more videos. But anyway, Wednesday morning, Bitcoin.